stories, characters who are playing rabbits are characters that usually have the first and same last initial in their first name and last name, like a Peter Parker, Mickey Mouse, Roger Rabbit, Marty McFly. And these are also often characters that are the mascots or go down the wormhole where they could change a lot depending on the series that they're in. This is the year of the rabbit, so we have a lot of rabbit hole films coming out, where we just had the recent Mario movie come out, and that was a story about a character going down the wormhole or the rabbit hole. And we kind of have the same thing going on with Miles Morales. And if you notice in the first film, Miles' mask always had the giant rabbit ears on it. And that's because Ghost Spider or Spider-Gwen and Peter and all the other characters are also rabbits. You can even see it in Spider-Ham's ears. They're rabbit bunny ears. But because he was the main rabbit, the story was being told through him. He was the rabbit who the story was being portrayed through. So he had over-exaggerated bunny ears on his mask. And what I like about these bunny stories or these rabbit stories is usually they'll have the fear of jumping in the beginning. You see in The Matrix, Neo had to overcome the fear of jumping over the building. He's the white rabbit. Same kind of concept going on with Miles in the first film. And even the original Spider-Man movie, the Sam Raimi film, had the same concept where Peter Parker was afraid to jump off the building. This is just a common thing with rabbit stories. In the most recent Mario film, there's a scene where he has to overcome the courage to kind of do this platforming stage. And once he gets it, then he's a bouncing rabbit. And you kind of see that with the Spider-Man characters. You're seeing them swing from tree to tree or building to building, like the Naruto characters who are jumping from tree to tree. But it's really just a play that they're bunnies. The story is being told through these bunnies or these rabbits. So it seems like this newer film is continuing the bunny rabbit idea, as expected, because it's a wormhole story or rabbit hole story. But we have a character called Miguel O'Hare, which is a kind of a play on Bucky O'Hare. And the word hare should let you know that you're talking about a rabbit or a bunny or a hare. And then it's interesting because his name is Miguel, right, which is Spanish. But the word Gel or the name Gel is often used in rabbit stories where characters are playing rabbits. Like, for instance, Dorothy Gale in Wizard of Oz, she went down the rabbit hole, the Twister. And the Twister is also something that's heavily associated with rabbits. Kind of why we're seeing a lot of tornadoes this year, right? And the first tornado we had, I think, was in Harris County. But you see Miguel O'Hare, and then we have Jessica Andrew, or Jessica Drew is another character, and Jessica's a common bunny name or rabbit character, or Jessie even. Think about Jessica Rabbit and Roger Rabbit. In the Fast and Furious, there's a character named Jesse who was killed in the first film. And you might say, well, that film has nothing to do with the rabbit. Well, the car he was driving was the Volkswagen, the rabbit, the white rabbit. The first film, the characters or the ensemble of Spider-Man characters were all kind of moon-based. And a lot of people get mad when they tokenize characters, right? I guess there might have been points in my life when I used to be mad about them tokenizing characters, like adding a black character or changing the race or something like that. And at first I thought it was primarily for social programming, for like the race and all. But then I realized it's more so within code in the sky. A lot of times they'll invert the characters based off of what the sky is actually doing in real life. And this is the reason why you see a bunch of new inverted kind of tokenized characters that come out. And I'll explain that some more later on in the video. But Miles is kind of that. He's like the moon-based Spider-Man or the moon-based rabbit, because the rabbit is a position of the sun and or the moon. And you have Peter, who's the sun-based character or the sun-based rabbit. And you see that Peter in this Into the Spider-Verse first film has blonde hair like the sun.
So are you like a cow or a Dalmatian?
I am the Spot.
Kidding.
It's just as I expected.